Happy Thursday, October 2nd, 2025. You're tuned into CoeCast, where creators and marketers come to automate the grind and keep the magic. I'm Hunter.
And I'm Riley. Today's episode is fully AI made. We're battle testing Microsoft Vibe Voice 7B. If it gets a little spicy or weird, that's the point. We leave the quirks in.
All right, headline time. Tencent just dropped HunyuanImage 3.0 with open weights and actual inference code. Not a demo, not a waitlist. The real pipeline pieces are live.
Which means you are not just renting vibes from a black box anymore. You can own your prompts, your outputs, and your automation story. That is big for teams that ship on schedule. The architecture is interesting. It is a mixture of experts setup with 64 experts that total something like 80 billion parameters, but only about 13 billion wake up per token when you run it. Translation for my workflow people, you get a big expressive brain without lighting up the entire data center every step, and they do the unified token thing. Text and image tokens in one stream with an autoregressive brain. That helps it follow long prompts like an actual scene direction. Think a product shot with 3 people, one holding a blue bottle, sunlight at golden hour, the logo tucked into the corner. It listens better.
Exactly. We are seeing stronger alignment on long, picky prompts and better subject coherence. Multi-subject scenes, brand-tight art direction, less roulette.
Who is this for? Not hobby laptops. This wants multi-GPU rigs. The guidance says 380 gig cards at minimum. 4 is better. So enterprise teams, studios, agencies, or anyone comfortable spinning a beefy cloud node.
And that is why it matters for automation. Open weights plus transparent inference means you can wrap your own simple service, no official REST yet, but a thin, fast API layer, and you have queues, webhooks, and workers. Drop it behind your N8 N flows, push finished assets to your DAM, throw alerts into Slack, and track seeds for reproducibility.
You had me at queues. Also, a quick vibe check on quality. Early samples look client-ready, with light art direction polish, portraits, product, lifestyle environments are clean. There is still a small gloss gap if you are chasing the craziest stylized looks, like Midjourney at its most cinematic. But for campaign bread and butter, it is in the conversation.
Text inside images is better than older open models, but still situational. Short signs and labels, one language, simple layouts are doable. If you are doing intricate typography or poster-grade layout, still plan a pass in Figma or your design tool.
Let's talk workflow impact. This is not just a pretty model. It is model plus ingredients. You get the weights, the inference, and a clear runtime story. That makes nightly batches real. A or B image variants per brief, consistent styles across a product line. And your brand's secret sauce can live in fine-tunes or adapters, not in a prompt you copy-paste into a rented tool.
And you can measure. You can log the prompt, the seed, the safety setting, the reviewer, and reproduce an asset if legal or brand needs it. That is the governance leap. We do not just make a cool image, we can prove how it was made and approved.
Okay, but what about the license, people are going to ask?
It is a community license with commercial use allowed under conditions. There are regional and scale-related rules, so do a legal pass if you are deploying at volume or working in regulated spaces. The big picture is you can use it for work, but read the fine print and stay compliant.
Makes sense. Also, no one-click API. You will build a skinny wrapper or use a community one. Honestly, that is healthy. You control rate limits and retries. Nothing nukes a launch day like a third-party throttle.
Facts. And budget-wise, yes, you are paying for GPUs, but at scale, this swaps per image fees for predictable compute. If your team generates thousands of assets a month, the cost control story gets very attractive.
Competitive T. Who should feel nervous? Closed image platforms that monetize per output and lock your data. Also, any reseller that just puts glitter on a black box. The value is shifting to reliability, SLAs, audit logs, and integration.
On the open side, this squares up against SDXL-based stacks and the newer Flux-style models. Versus Midjourney and Ideogram, you trade a tiny bit of out-of-the-box gloss or typography magic for ownership and automation power. Different bets.
And this lines up with what we talked about yesterday on the feed, with DeepSeek's cost story and the Sonnet 4.5 show. The trend is clear. Tokens and pixels are getting cheaper and more open. The win moves to workflow and control.
Yes. Sonnet brought long-running agents and tool use you can trust. DeepSeek pushed the price pressure. HunyuanImage plugs the pixel side into real production without gatekeeping. Put those together and you get a serious co-creation loop.
Let's do use cases. Solo YouTuber or TikToker can use this via a hosted partner and get brand-tight thumbnails and storyboard frames with consistent characters. Agencies can stand up a private endpoint and run nightly batches for 5 clients, each with their own style adapter. Enterprise can do pre-visualized campaigns, route winners to human polish, and keep all the data in-house.
Technical experience. You want a dev who can deploy on Linux, manage CUDA, and wire fast API or Flask. You also want an ops person who understands VRAM, caching, and job queues. For smaller teams, you can rent a managed box and still own the service layer.
Workflow saves. If you do research to outline to shot list to asset metadata to draft posts, this cuts two places. First, prompt to image fidelity, so fewer redos. Second, batch throughput you can schedule. That is time back and cleaner budgets.
There are trade-offs. Typography remains hit or miss at campaign grade. VRAM demand rules out casual desktop use. You will need to make your own SDK story or use community clients. And safety filters plus license terms mean sensitive categories still need a human review lane.
Meme test. Caption this launch. Mine is, open weights are back, baby, we are cooking at home.
I was talked like Matthew. I will go with your creative ops lead when they see open weights plus queues. Add to cart.
Ha. Let's get tactical. How would we wire this inside Koei tomorrow?
I would spin a thin service with fast API. Endpoints for generate, upscale, and variant. Jobs get dropped into a queue with a budget tag. N8N orchestrates runs, writes metadata to our asset store, and posts previews to Slack with the prompt and seed. We log everything for audit. We also set up a budget-aware router. Premium model for delicate brand voice or typography-heavy work. HunyuanImage for bulk variants, storyboards, and product angle coverage.
I would add a style adapter per client so we get consistent looks across scenes. Then a prompt schema that locks naming, aspect ratios, and camera notes. Pair it with a language model to generate structured prompt sets per brief. 10 scenes, 3 angles each, 2 lighting variants. The system does the heavy lift and the art director just picks and nudges.
For video teams, I would generate keyframes and animatics to hand off to your motion crew or a video diffusion model. For audio, I would auto-generate episode covers and season thumbnails from a single schema. Cross-format asset factory unlocked.
Availability-wise, it is live to download. No official turnkey API, so roll your own thin layer. No free token buffet, but the open route means you control cost. If you are not ready to run the infra, keep an eye out for trusted hosts that give you logs and contracts, not vibes only.
Quick benchmarks advice. Vendor charts are nice, but run your workflow. Take one campaign brief and push it through Midjourney, SDXL, Flux-style stacks, and HunyuanImage. Grade on prompt adherence, edit time, and asset acceptance rate. Track cost per usable asset, not cost per render.
And please measure the edit time. If your designer spends an hour fixing kerning or hands, that eats any savings. The best model is the one that reduces total time to publish with your brand rules intact.
One more enterprise angle. Auditability. Log prompts, versions, seeds, reviewers. Route-sensitive references through private GPUs. You get repeatability and a defensible trail when legal or compliance asks questions.
Last call on risks. Rate limits you set yourself, so think throughput and retries. Memory fragmentation is real on big checkpoints, so monitor. And if your region has license gotchas, do not wing it. Talk to counsel.
Bottom line, this is a rare open release that is big on paper and practical in production. It closes the gap on fidelity and throws the automation door wide open.
Ownership beats opacity. If you can fine-tune privately, script repeatable generations, and hit deadlines without surprise policy shifts, you win compounding returns.
All right, that is the show. Thanks for hanging with us on KoeiCast. Today's episode was fully AI made with Microsoft Vibe Voice 7B riding shotgun.
For more breakdowns and resources, hit koei.com/resources for AI news and updates. Do not forget to subscribe and drop a rating if this saved you a sprint.
Appreciate you.
Catch you next time.